Hey dudes, this is Cynthia Levin, and I guess I'm supposed to say I'm not famous yet, and I am a comedian, a non-famous comedian. And you're listening to Tommy Throwback Kovac on Splat from the past. Tommy's a naughty little fuck, but he is awesome. Cheers, everybody.
Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today, I will be welcoming back my stand-up comedian friend, Betsy Salkind. She is doing a benefit in Bodega Bay with Vicky Barbalack, the America's Got Talent winner. They're doing a benefit for the firefighters. And I'm having her on the show today to talk about that and talk about some other things, catch up on some stuff, because it's been almost 1 year and 1 day since we last talked. We talked on December 4th of 2018 last year. And I love Betsy. She is a true survivor in comedy, and I love talking to her. So yeah, here is my new interview with Betsy Salkind.
Tommy.
Hey, Betsy. Welcome back.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm okay. Hanging in there.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't complain. I'm just so fortunate.
Well, it's good to talk again. It's been a while.
Yes, it sure has. In fact, I was doing the math. Last time we talked was December 4th of last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it's happy anniversary.
Yes, 1 year and 1 day.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So, any chance I'm going to see you at this gig in Bodega Bay?
I wish I could say yes. I wish.
There'll be a time.
There will be a time, yes. I just got back from the Bay Area. I was there for 24 hours because my mom didn't want to travel alone. She had a deposition to do because she's suing her old job. Unfortunately. But there will be a time.
Yes.
There will be a time. This whole year has been a total clusterfuck of a year for me, but it's ending on a hopeful note.
Well, it's better that way than the other way around, I suppose.
Yeah.
What makes it hopeful?
Well, I went to the doctor a couple of weeks ago and had my physical, and I've known for the last couple of years that ever since my car accident, I've had to lose weight because I've just been very depressed, doing lots of emotional overeating and stuff. And I go back in 2 weeks for my blood work, and it's going to put me on a really good path that I can get all this weight off, by next year. And my mom's friend came and stayed with us for about a month and a half, and he's going to loan us his trailer so I could go out to LA for a while next year and try to get shit done, because I tried to do that this summer, but it fell through.
I lost you there for a second. You still there?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Were you on the landline?
Yeah, I bought my landline.
Me too. I'd actually gotten rid of my landline after many, many, many years, finally, and then discovered that if you call 911 on a cell phone, it doesn't go to your local emergency services. It goes to CHP.
Huh.
And now that they get all those calls from all the cell phones, they don't have enough people, so you kind of end up in this voicemail system. And eventually you get a person, and then they have to determine who to then connect you with. So so I reinstated my landline in case there's an emergency.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I didn't even know about that. Wow.
Yeah.
About landlines. That's so cool. Yeah. At least my podcast is doing really good, and just, I'm getting so many guests that are just awesome and stuff. This year has been really good for it.
Mm-hmm. Well, good.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to start a podcast soon. We've been starting to get together. Any tips?
Oh my God, there's so many. I would I would be careful with the kind of guests you get and stuff, because occasionally you run into somebody who's just absolutely out of their mind or just a plain jerk, But I would suggest, if you're going to get guests, get people that you know very well.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And if you do get a guest who's really difficult, can you just not air it?
It's funny. That happened to me twice back in January, and I did not release them.
Yeah.
It's the only time that's ever happened. I had this one actress on who was in one horror movie. She was a penthouse model before that, and about 2 minutes in, she got very dominant in the interview, and then she asked me a question, and she did not like the answer to it, and so she hung up on me, so I didn't release it. And then this other woman, she ended up just being a con artist, so to speak. She just was making me very uncomfortable, and she didn't want to talk about a certain chapter in her life and stuff, which was fine with me. But she just became really cunty and stuff, and then she ended the interview, and then I just didn't release it. And I told her beforehand that I didn't want to release it, and she told me before I told her that, she's like, can you send a copy of it to my lawyer? I was just like, you're making me uncomfortable here.
Well, first of all, so you can say cunty in a podcast, that's okay?
Every word you can think of, you can say in a podcast.
Okay. And that's another question then. So if the guest is unhappy with what they did, can they say, I don't want you to do this?
I guess they can, because that's the only time that's ever happened to me.
Hmm.
Yeah.
What's the best part of having a podcast?
The best part about having a podcast, after you've given such a great interview, it becomes very rewarding, and sometimes you get this need that you want to talk to the person again, and you want to keep a lookout for their future projects and future endeavors, and have them back on again. Yeah.
Okay, can you hang it up clear? Sorry. My computer just went on.
Oh.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Edit that out.
Yeah. It's funny. I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, how come Betsy doesn't have a podcast?
I don't know, laziness. But I am starting one with a friend, and we just got all the equipment, and we're just kind of outlined our first couple shows, and we're planning to start recording on Saturday.
Oh, that's so awesome. That's so awesome. Are you gonna have other comedians on?
If they fit the bill. So there will be some comedians on, and some other folks.
Wow. Awesome. Gonna have movie stars, musicians like I have?
There could be, but there might just be regular people. Well, of course, all those people are regular people too, but what I mean is, that really it's going to be a variety of people.
Oh, that is so wonderful. I'm so happy for you. And you guys going to put it on Spreaker or iTunes or anything?
We haven't even figured that part out yet, but I imagine we will.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm really excited.
We're trying to just get the actual recording part done, and then we'll figure out how to get it out to the world.
Oh, that's going to be so awesome. I can't wait.
I can't either.
So do you have any Christmas plans this year?
Yes, this year I'm actually going to be with my in-laws and their family. Mm-hmm. And we never travel on the holidays because it's, a nightmare to travel on the holidays. But sometimes you have to.
I've only done it once. In 2016, me and my mother, we drove 3 hours up here to Reading to spend it with my godparents, which I don't like spending any time with my godparents. They're so conservative and snobby, and I don't like being around them and stuff. That's the only time I've ever done it, though. And then we moved up here about 4 months later. So
yeah. What are you doing this year?
well, I was just gonna stay home. Ever since my mom got injured and semi-retired and stuff, my mom and I can do a lot more things together and stuff because she was commuting from up here to the Bay Area to work, and she's going to be home, and we're just going to spend time together. I mean, I had a really good Thanksgiving this year. My best friend came down from the Bay Area and spent 4 days here, and we went to go see a couple of movies, and that was a lot of fun.
Anything good?
I saw the Mr. Rogers movie with Tom Hanks.
Did you cry?
I didn't cry, but my heart was warmed.
Yeah. I like Mr. Rogers. For some reason, I think he started a little after I was but I loved the puppets. I was always really into the cat and just all the puppets.
Mm-hmm.
Later, I realized what an incredible guy he was, and what he was really doing.
Yeah, he was a rarity, that guy.
Yeah.
And then the other movie I saw was It Chapter 2, and I enjoyed it actually a lot more than the first.
Okay, see, now that's a question I have for you, because you're into horror.
Right.
And I don't understand the whole genre. I don't understand the pleasure of a horror movie. Can you explain it?
Well, there's actually a lot of great comedy in the movie.
Uh-huh.
It was really funny, especially Bill Hader. He played he was a grown-up version of the Kids Gang from the first one, and he grew up to be a comedian, and he show him on stage bombing in the beginning of the movie, and then throughout the rest of the movie, he's just absolutely hilarious with every line he has.
Okay, so comedy. What else? What else do you like about that? I mean, it's sort of that, like, heart-pumping, like, oh, fuck. Like, that's the part I don't really like.
Mm-hmm.
So I already, like, have dreams like that. Like, to me, the world is horrible enough.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious about why that genre is so popular, which it is.
I think it's popular because it releases a lot of your inner tensions and worries of the world. And when you watch, something scary happen, it's kind of like therapy. It releases all that anger and all that fear out of you. Yeah.
So when it's over, you're like, I survived that. I'm fine.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It's a really weird genre that way, But it's funny. All the older horror movies from the old days, to me, were so much better. I just think the genre has become very PC and woke, just like comedy is now, and it's become just not as fun as it used to be.
So you prefer your horror to be un-PC?
Un-PC and just a lot more fun.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you think about the current state of comedy becoming PC and woke?
Well, I mean, there's always been two different kinds of comedy, and I've always preferred comedy that had some real politics in it, and to me, the role of comedy is to expose and make fun of powers and things that are fucked up, and so I don't really understand the argument that's going on. It's like, to me, there is no argument.
Yeah, it's hard for me to make a dirty joke on social media now without some socially retarded fucktard calling me out, and he doesn't even know me, I've had to set my Facebook profile on friends only, so they can see it, because I've had a lot of random people who listen to the podcast troll me.
Mm-hmm. So what is I mean, a dirty joke? What does that like mean? Just blue?
Just blue, or just not PC or something.
I mean, to me, like, I've never enjoyed misogynist humor of any sort, whether it's blue or not, and
Right.
and I've kind of always felt that way. And to me, it's like, do better. You could do better. It's like you can make fun of things that, I don't know, just I don't know. Nothing for me. Nothing has changed.
Yeah.
Like this idea that you can't say, yeah, it's true. Like back in the day, you could be racist, misogynist, and get on prime time and all of that. And now, and then we went through a while where it was like, we started to say, you know what, maybe that's, maybe we don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And now there's all this talk about how, we all have to be so PC. But in fact, what's going on in the world, I mean, the president is openly racist, misogynist, and all of that. And there's no limits on that. So I don't think it's a real thing that, there's restrictions. I mean, people can and have said whatever they want, but other people don't have to listen to it or enjoy it.
Exactly.
Or pay for it.
Exactly.
So like with Louis C.K., it's like, well, you can be where you are, but, people don't have to watch it or come to the clubs or book you, and that's not censorship. That's people deciding, what they actually want.
Exactly. I tell that to people all the time. You don't have to listen to this or that and stuff. And there's two knobs on the radio or the TV or whatever and stuff. And just some people don't get that. But exactly. Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, ever since I started this podcast, I've had lots of trolls and like people trying to like get the phone numbers for like certain guests of mine and stuff. And it's been insane. This year, surprisingly, has been pretty good. Last year, it was pretty bad.
Mm. So what do you do about that?
I just block them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to me, that's been like kind of the shock of just all the trolling. I mean, we used to have trolls, of course, but they had to actually take the time to write you a letter or, confront you in person. And now, like, you don't even know if they're real people much of the time.
Yeah, or robots.
Yeah, there's lots of bots.
It's really strange. I know.
I've gotten better at picking those out, though.
Oh, you have?
Like, basically, you go look at their profile, and all of their entries are for the last 3 days.
Yeah.
They just didn't exist before that, or there's these huge gaps, right? So it's like somebody's real profile, but then it was like dormant for years, and then clearly somebody else took it over.
Yeah, that's scary. I mean, when I see somebody whose profile thing is recent, I get scared, so I just block them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that the whole internet thing is amazing in so many ways, and a little bit disturbing in many ways too.
Yes, very disturbing. It's taken over the world now, and it looks like there's no possibility of returning.
I was just thinking back to the horror genre for a moment. That to me, it feels like we're living through a thriller or kind of a horror movie. But there's way too many chapters. Like, could somebody find an ending to this thing? Because that thing where you say, that kind of catharsis or that like feeling resolved at the end of it, like that is not happening. And I can't take this like 4-year-long horror movie.
Yeah, it's funny. It Chapter 2 was a 3-hour horror movie.
Uh-huh.
It was really long. I was really surprised at how long it was. It was a lot longer than the first chapter, which was only 2 hours.
What's an ideal length for one of those movies for you?
I love like 80 to 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After that, you're getting into like heart attack territory.
After that, it's like, come on, get to the point, get to the story, get to the final girl who's running away and then kicks his ass or something,
Yeah, right. I heard that Parasite is a good. I have not seen it yet, but it's on my list. Have you seen that one?
I've heard of it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God! Around the time that you and I talked last, I had a fake Me Too scandal that happened.
What does that mean? Fake Me Too?
Some accusation came out that wasn't true, but a lot of people believed it in Bay Area comedy. There's a comedian that I've been rivals with for like almost a decade now, and he spread a rumor about me that was just awful. And so many female comedians believed it. They all unfriended me, and I guess I don't know if it's still being said or not and stuff, but it's been very quiet. But around this time last year, it was running pretty rampant, and I cried a lot during that time.
How do you handle that when
I just
besides crying, which is not a bad way.
Well, Perseverance is my middle name, so I've just, been very strong about it and just ignore it, and talk to people about it too and stuff.
Going back a step, how do you have a rival in comedy?
Somebody who just like, you don't get along with, that hates your guts, who's also an open micer. And I don't know, he may be jealous about the way you write comedy or something like that. That's my theory with this particular guy.
Yeah.
And stuff. But he actually got a taste of his own medicine earlier this year. Somebody went on the Bay Area Comedy Network page and said that he's a rapist or something. And then somebody sent me this podcast he did where he said that he's trying to get out of the Bay Area and go somewhere else because he's not having a good time getting booked or anything. And I'm just like, yes, revenge. That's perfect. Yeah, he's a real jerk. But I'm glad though that he got a taste of his own medicine, because it was just awful.
Yeah.
It's amazing how, you get all these female comics on your podcast, and then 6 months later, they all unfriend you because he's talking shit. It's just the most awful thing ever.
And over time, maybe that will shift.
I hope so. Because I'll tell you something. I am a very nice, very sincere guy, but I have this edgy persona, Going back to what you were saying before about how you're not a fan of misogynistic comedy,
Yeah.
My persona can be, that way because I have this perverted fanboy persona, But I had a guest tell me something that was the greatest compliment ever recently. She said to me, "You're a creepy weirdo, but a harmless one," and I have to agree.
So why do you enjoy? Well, I'm kind of curious because Andrew Dice Clay was a big thing when I was starting out.
Right.
And later he would say, "Well, that was just a persona. That wasn't me."
Mm-hmm.
But it kind of doesn't really matter because what the audience that's how you are presenting to the world. So whether it's really you or not doesn't matter. And I guess for me, what would be interesting about seeing a persona like that is if you really kind of take it apart. Like, what's the point of view about that? Like, what are you saying about creepy fanboys?
There's not a whole lot of them, and a lot of creepy fanboys, they're these kind of weird, guys that have kind of, questionable sexualities and stuff, and they just do weird things, and so I'm kind of satirizing it. But like, my comedy is not predicated towards, show me your tits like Andrew Dice Clay's is. Mine is a lot more. It comes from a place. It comes from a place of goodness, and it's my way of trying to teach guys out there, like, hey guys, this isn't acceptable. I'm lucky because I haven't offended any woman that I've had on the podcast or come across since I came up with
satire of
satire. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
yeah, and I don't know if Andrew Dice Clay is a satire, but I guess it comes down to, do people realize it's satire or not? I think in his case they didn't. I mean, they were definitely. Well, I don't know if it was, but certainly it wasn't really received that way. It was received as permission to be a dick.
Yeah.
And but I'm a big fan of satire, so it's a way of kind of exposing things and being able to talk about things that it would be helpful to talk about.
Mm-hmm. It's exactly what I'm aiming for, And I've talked to people who know him and say he's actually a great guy.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff.
Andrew?
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, it's like you could be a great guy to the people who actually know you, but if you're out there doing something in the world that's causing harm, then that's kind of a problem.
Really?
Like, we are ultimately responsible for what we are and do in the world, and like there just isn't that division. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
To me, there isn't.
Do you think his comedy caused harm?
I do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I know it. Like as a woman comic in that day, it was awful.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Kinnison was that way too, but he wasn't, as profane as Dice was. And his comedy, came from a real place. He was actually talking, how he felt, with all the divorces he had and stuff. Which is quite sad. But so next Saturday, the 14th, you'll be performing with Vicky Barbalak at Comedy for a Cause, Bodega Bay. All the proceeds will go to the Bodega Bay Fires.
Yeah, so their fire department, like I think they're a volunteer fire department, and they've been out, not just working locally, but also helping with those big forest fires up north.
Mm-hmm. I believe Vicky did this last year too.
Yes, it's an annual thing, and it's been a really tough year for them because first it was fires and then floods, and so they really had and then the smoke.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a small community, and they're really great, and they really support each other. And this is my first year of getting to join Vicky doing it, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh, that's great. She just mentioned your name, and then you got the call?
No, she asked me. I mean, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I can't believe all the fires that have happened in the last 2 years, and it's put a damper on so many horror conventions. They've been canceled because of these fires.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You'd think they'd just go right into the fires and make it a real horror convention.
It's true, but they got to, think about, the people involved, because they might die.
Yeah.
It's okay to die in the movies, but in real life. Yeah.
Only fake deaths.
Only fake deaths, exactly. Yeah, we had a pretty bad fire in summer of last year, and I was evacuated, but it cleared up like within a month. I mean, it was bad. I mean, the smoke, God, everywhere was really scary.
I'm glad you survived that.
Yes, thank you.
It is a little bit frightening to think about, the likelihood that these will get worse.
Mm-hmm. I know everyone said they wanted global warming. Well, they got it. And
I never said that.
I
I like cold weather.
I love heat, but I just want it to be harmless. You know, I want it to be nice.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
not
I want it to be 60 or less.
60 or less, yeah.
Yeah, I'm fucked.
Yeah. So, Betsy, really quickly, there's this a game that I like to play with guests, and how this works is it's silly slumber party questions. And what happens is I ask you the question, you answer it, and then you ask me the exact same question, and I answer it.
Okay.
This has become very popular since the last time we talked. Betsy, are you ticklish?
I don't think so. I kind of trained myself as a kid not to be. Are you ticklish?
I am just baby ticklish, yes. I get a knee-jerk reaction when I'm tickled.
Mm-hmm.
What is your favorite part of the body?
Might be hands.
Hands.
What's your favorite part of the body?
I have always loved the belly button.
Mm-hmm.
What color are your toenails painted?
They are not painted. What color are yours painted?
Not painted either. And is there a stinky smell that just makes you gag?
Yes, many. I always say that I have the, like I could have been a cadaver dog. I have this like really heightened sense of smell. Like I just smell things that other people don't. And so there's some really good smells that I get, like really enjoy, but I also get the bad ones. And it's jet fuel. That's way up there. You know, of course, like rotting things. I don't like that either. But one smell I really dislike that other people may feel differently about it. Like that first rain, that first little bit of rain where on concrete, where you can just kind of smell the dust and or whatever. Mm-hmm. I really don't like that smell.
Wow.
How about you? What smells do you really dislike?
Either farts or feet.
Mm-hmm.
I had really bad athlete's foot when I was in the hospital, and that was the worst ever.
Mm. And you could smell your own feet?
When I took my shoes off, yes.
Yeah.
That was pretty bad. Well, Betsy.
How'd we do?
Oh, we did. We did pretty good.
Okay.
We did pretty good. I hope that show you do just kicks ass next weekend.
Oh, thanks. I think it's going to be great. And I think there's still a few tickets left, but it's pretty well sold. And, it's going to be a really fun show and obviously a great cause.
And do you still do the Throckmorton?
I do. I won't be there this trip, but I'll be back in 2020.
Nice. I'll see if I can make it down to one of those. If not, I'll see you when I get to LA next year.
Sounds good.
All right, Betsy. Well, I hope that show kicks ass, like I said, and hopefully money will be made.
Yes.
And I hope you have a...
Not for me, but for... but I'm not much of a firefighter, so it's going where it should.
All right. Happy Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and I really appreciate you always asking me to come on and just being so thoughtful about my time.
Oh, absolutely. And kick ass with that podcast.
I will, and thank you for everything. Have a great holiday.
Oh, you too.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Well, there you have it. Betsy Salkind. Ain't she a sweetheart? I love Betsy. Her and I, we may come from different types of comedy ilk, but we get along so great, and we have a good time talking. And I hope she kicks ass with the podcast and next week's show in the Bodega Bay